Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have the honor to have one more time on my channel, Andreas M. Antonopoulos. Welcome once again.
It's a pleasure, Catalina. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, first of all, I'm going to keep this video as short and straight to the point as possible because I want to cover many topics. But first of all, how are you? How are you handling this unique situation?
Thanks for asking, Catalina. I'm doing great. It's difficult, of course, but so far myself and my family are safe and sheltering and just trying to deal with the the difficult psychology of being forced to be indoors and not socializing. As you probably imagine, I'm an extrovert. And so not being able to socialize is difficult, but I'm doing great. Thank you.
We are all glad to hear that. I'm sure people are glad to hear that. We need you, and I hope we can continue doing this work. Andreas, I'm not going to start with the questions that everyone is asking right now. We will cover them. But talking about psychology, and this is a message for the people who are in the crypto space, let's start with the positive. So my first question is, what are you excited the most for the crypto space, let's say for the following year and a half? Let's start with the positive.
Well, one of the things that I find positive is that a lot of the turmoil and volatility and market problems in the broader economy have been a test. And they've been a test for Bitcoin, and they've been a test for every other cryptocurrency and open blockchain out there. And, you can look at these tests and think, oh my God, it's so difficult. Things have been so difficult. But at the same time, both Bitcoin and other open blockchains that were very strongly tested survived and passed the test in a way. And that's a positive thing, So Bitcoin has survived and continues to provide blocks every 10 minutes under conditions that are very, very difficult. We've also seen a similar very big test on the decentralized finance platforms, such as Ethereum, where we saw some big problems with the sudden drop in price and increase in gas costs. And again, the system survived. So these are all good things, proving resilience and being able to survive difficult tests is a good thing.
Regarding DeFi, now that you mentioned it, decentralized finance, I think this is one of the topics we should be excited the most, because it's going to be the open door for a lot of financial institutions to gradually immigrate to this space. What are your thoughts regarding the majority of the projects are built on top of the Ethereum blockchain? Do you think we can envision these projects also being built on top of Bitcoin? On top of Bitcoin from a technical perspective?
I think it is possible for some of the DeFi projects to be built upon Bitcoin, but not most. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin's specialty is being super secure and robust. And for many of the DeFi applications, you need more flexibility. And I don't think we want Bitcoin to be flexible. That would defeat the primary purpose, which is for it to be extremely secure and extremely robust. So from that perspective, I'm kind of glad that the DeFi experiments are happening on Ethereum and not on Bitcoin. I don't really see a good fit for the platform, although there are some promising projects. And of course, the biggest one of these is in Argentina, which is Rootstock. And they've been able to build some success. So we'll wait to see. However, I will make one comment, which is the idea that DeFi will bring more institutional finance and banking companies over to crypto. I don't think that's true. In fact, I think they're going to very, very strongly resist these things, and they're going to resist them in the same way that they resist other innovations in finance by trying to get the regulators to ban them, because they will perceive these as competition. Traditional financial systems, traditional investment banks, lenders, etc., they don't want to see competition from decentralized technology. They can't adapt to it. It doesn't fit their business model. It doesn't fit their regulatory model, which they're married to in a way that they can't escape. And so they're going to resist it and fight it, and they're going to try to shut it down by getting regulators to stop their competition, as they've done many times in the past. The interesting thing is that while the financial system won't switch to DeFi, the question is whether many users will. So if users find better solutions, better products, better services through DeFi, then hopefully what they will do is they will abandon inferior traditional financial services in favor of new modern decentralized finance services, and that will force a change in the industry. So it's not about the big companies, it's about users.
Okay, that is an excellent point. Thank you, Andreas. My next question is, what do you think we need to innovate most in the crypto space, and maybe a topic that most people are not paying attention to?
Well, I mean, you've probably heard me say this before. I think the greatest area of innovation, the area where we need the most innovation, is on user interfaces and user-facing applications, especially in wallets. So making wallets easier to use, easier to back up, easier to use securely, easier to use with privacy, easier to use for non-technical users, easier to use on low-power devices, on low bandwidth devices. All of those things, I think, are very, very important. And it's one of the difficult areas in crypto because there isn't enough investment or good business models for monetization of wallets. And as a result, most of the wallets companies are seriously underfunded. And that's a shame.
Okay, and here I want to highlight that maybe the fact that surrounding Bitcoin, we have a lot of centralized infrastructure. So I hope that all these companies and services that will be created in the future, they will be as decentralized as possible for the end user as well, because that is also a problem, right? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the well-funded wallets are the centralized custodial ones. Decentralized wallets that give users control of their keys are not as well-funded, and we need better business models for that. I strongly believe that we should try and see more wallets that charge a monthly or yearly fee that are not free, because I think people would absolutely pay for technical support and assistance and for better user interfaces. The wallet is such an important part of this infrastructure. And I would certainly pay for good services. I mean, I do for hardware wallets, but I think we should do that for software wallets too, in order to get these companies a steady stream of income so that they can actually plan for the future and keep up with the changes. It's a difficult problem to solve.
Yeah, this is a great call for the entrepreneurs for the following years. Wake up. This is a great call. So next question, let's cover this topic. Regarding the current pandemic and the recession that we have right now, by the time we had the last recession, Bitcoin was way too new and not as secure, as decentralized as it is right now. Do you think, being this scenario, maybe the scenario that we were waiting for to test Bitcoin and to see if people are going to gradually adopt or realize Bitcoin as an alternative, do you think that is going to be happening this year? What are your thoughts regarding the recession and the current situation?
I don't know about whether Yeah, I don't know if it's this year that we're going to see these changes, because the full impact of this recession, the full impact of the closures and the pandemic, is going to take a while to filter through, first to the markets, and then to the kind of secondary functions of monetary policy, inflation, etc. So, take, for example, the United States, who added $6 trillion of debt in just a few weeks. And these are staggering numbers, but that doesn't mean that the US dollar is going to go into hyperinflation within the next couple of months. We may see inflation, and we probably will see inflation, but we will probably see inflation gradually, and we'll see it later, maybe a year or two from now. And in my opinion, that's primarily because the dollar has enormous weight internationally, and it gets a lot of forgiveness because it's tied to oil and foreign reserves for many countries. That it gets to the benefit of lower inflation because of that, and can therefore issue more debt. But where we are going to see even more inflation is in currencies that don't have those unique characteristics of the dollar. So if you switch for a moment from the dollar and you look at, for example, the euro, or you look at the Chinese yuan, or you look at the Japanese yen, the Russian ruble, the rupee in India, all of these currencies, which are also implementing incredible amounts of stimulus and debt, they don't have the benefits of dollarization to protect them from inflation. So I think we're going to see inflation across the world increasing over the next 1 to 2 years. And that's not going to make people automatically and immediately start adopting Bitcoin or using Bitcoin. It's not going to even make them consider Bitcoin immediately as a store of value. But as long as Bitcoin continues to survive, as long as Bitcoin continues to be robust, what it does is it gradually proves the point more and more. It takes a lot for people to change their habits, and money is one of those habits that moves very difficult, that is very difficult to change. So I do think that in the long term, we're going to see more success in systems like Bitcoin that have a very sound monetary policy as a result of all of this debt. But it will take time, and it won't be smooth, and it won't be instantaneous. In fact, as I predicted back in January, I think we're going to see another drop in price in crypto across the board. I expect that we've only seen about 1/3 to 1/4 of the damage done to traditional stock markets. I think over the next month, we're going to see another very big drop in the stock market. And that's also going to lead to a drop in prices in crypto as traditional investors move everything they have into cash. And that means out of crypto too. These are not people who are looking to hodl for the long term. So I expect another drop. And after that, things will stabilize. And I think the long term is very, very positive, and I consider it to be very invested, both metaphorically and literally, in the long-term success of Bitcoin. But I think it takes time. We have to be patient.